Hey YouTube, Petey Two Finger here. I did a quick amp build. The other day I went and took a run to Anchor Rock to garbage pick, specifically to find some plywood. And I found an old piece of furniture. It was an old desk that had really nice wood. It looks like this when you cut it. It's got nice finish. It's not press board. It's I don't know what that is. It's not. I don't think it's plywood either. But it's got some kind of veneer on top, and it's just kind of nice wood. So this is what I came up with. I had found one of these Polk audio speakers, which we can pop this open and I'll show you. I realize this is just a satellite speaker. This is the idea with this is it's an improvement over a Marshall MS2, okay, or a mini Fender amp. I use modelers. I use amp modelers, cab sims. I always play with delay and reverb. So a speaker like this works really well for me because it's got a tweeter and it's a full range speaker. This is what you want when you're playing with an amp sim and a cab sim. You don't really want to plug it into a guitar amp because you've already got that handled with the amp and cab sim part of it. Project. So this is what I built today. Used 4 center bits to countersink these screws, and they're not installed right now, but this is I'd like to find 3 more of these and glue these to the bottom. I'll come up with something. You know, I could even just cut a big piece of felt for this, but wherever it was cut I used tempera paint, poster paint, and painted it black. So this was a pedal chassis from someone gifted me this, and I removed the circuit and put it into a bass preamp. So that's the story on this Radio Shack chassis. Inside there's a pair of batteries, there's a switch, there's a pot, and then there's this amp board. These cost $1.50, maybe $2. Here's an LED here, and a chicken head knob. So originally where you see those 3 wires in there on this board, this is a TDA 2030, so it's rated at somewhere, I think 14 they call it, but it's much less than that in this application. So I use these snips when I go in there and just cut the trimmer pot out of it, and then I'll solder 3 wires onto where the trim pot was. It said 103, that means 10K. So this is a 10K pot. So this is moving the onboard potentiometer to an external potentiometer. There's a power switch with an LED and an output. So it's really simple. Here's the input. It's using a piece of shielded cable to carry the audio. As far as improvements on this amp, I think there's room to add another battery. This is over a little bit. This is mounted a little down. If I squeeze in a triple holder, which I've got one on order, it'll run on 12.5 volts, which is it's going to make it a little bit louder. Now, I'm not really going to do a amp demo where I'm going to the camera that we're filming this video on is got a limit of 8 minutes, so I'm on hurry that motherfucker up. This is something that's been bothering me. I need to find a camera that shoots decent video that my wife can just pick up and grab, that will always be at easy access. But the idea behind this amp is this. Anytime I want to use one of my amp modelers, I could grab this little guy. There's no power supply, you just turn it on. And the battery life on this is going to be a lot, because the Class D amps, they don't use a real lot of, they're very efficient. So here's my test oscillator. And mind you, the test oscillator is not very loud. That when I hook this up to the like the Nux MG30 or a Zoom multi-effector, it's going to be quite a bit louder. So this little amp of mine, I'm going to be able to play, just grab this whenever I need a test amp, is the idea. It's kind of heavy and bulky with the wood chassis, and I can always beef the power supply and then beef the amp board. I've got some 30 watt amps, the TPA 3116. Is this the screws we're using? These really long screws. So, and again, this is not. I'm making all these excuses for this device. It's not supposed to be an unbelievably loud amp. This is a test amp. It's more of like a piece of test gear. And I know it's kind of ridiculous adding this big oaken chassis to it. I know that's stupid to make it so much larger and everything. But I don't have a Phillips bit. Oh, here it is. I think it's time for a tidy. Anyway, goodbye.